All right, this is Brian with the Tripleheader podcast. I'm here with the full crew today. We got Mark, Greg,
Yep.
and Matt. A lot to talk about pre-big game Super Bowl week. Big win by UC this week. Some NHL news randomly we want to probably talk about, and the Reds did have a pretty good signing this week as well. So, what do you want to kick off with, guys? Football?
Yeah, I think we should kick off. It's Super Bowl week, right?
Big
And
game. Big game. We
we
don't
have
want
the game this Sunday.
That
What?
works. Greg, go ahead. You want to kick us off?
copyrighted because we're not affiliated with the NFL, so we're technically not allowed to say Super Bowl. But
It's a podcast, fool. We're not making money.
hey,
So
you never know.
the Super Bowl is this week. And if you guys want to find us, NFL, my name's Antoine Watson, and
That's ANTWON.
but yeah, so it's finally almost here in the wrap up of the 2023 NFL season. I won't start off something random. I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but I saw a video from Super Bowl Media Day of this little kid interviewing Patrick Mahomes, and he decided that he didn't want to ask the questions that he was going to ask, but decided we're going to each pick an all-time fantasy team. Each team gets Patrick Mahomes because that's who he was interviewing, and the rule was you couldn't take any current Chiefs players. And I thought it was interesting when they got to the wide receivers, Patrick Mahomes drafted Jamar Chase for his team. So I was like, yeah.
Is that an omen that he's going to Kansas City next year?
Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
Breaking news.
it's to me, it's real recognizing real. That's the way I saw it. But yeah, I thought that was interesting, and to me, this shows the respect between the Bengals and the Chiefs. I mean, there's a lot of trash talking, yeah, but at the end of the day, the Chiefs understand that we have their number for the most part, especially with Joe Burrow at center. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, have you got? I guess I want to try to do something different too. Any bets, interesting bets, like goofy bets for the Super Bowl, Matt? Like I know, like some of the stuff is like on the coin toss, will it land on heads or tails?
Tails!
Or what's the first song that Usher's going to perform at halftime? I went tails too, by the way.
HERAYM.
I haven't like done a deep dive, but if you're not used to betting or you want to like throw money on some crazy random stuff, Super Bowl will have bets on how long the national anthem is going to go. They'll have an over-under on that. They'll have an over-under on what color the Gatorade is going to be at the end of the game. I haven't like done a deep dive on any of that, to be honest. I've kind of like backed off because the NBA regular season is like so hard to predict, and college basketball is like completely wide open, especially in the Big 12. So I haven't really had a beat on anything except for betting, UC to cover spreads, or money line bets. But I believe it's still the Chiefs are underdogs. I don't know how you can bet against Patrick Mahomes, but I have a feeling that the Niners are going to win, and I could just be fool's gold. But no, if I had to guess on what the odds-on favorite for Usher's first song would be, yeah. I mean, with a special guest appearance by Lil Jon, I could totally see something like that happening. Maybe Dave Chappelle does a guest appearance imitating Little John.
That'd be hilarious.
I did see something that orange Gatorade was plus 240
Orange baby.
and clear was 7-1.
What's yellow?
4-1.
Okay, I went with yellow because
It was like blue.
That's medicinal level
Blue,
Gatorade.
green, and yellow were all 4-1.
yeah, it is.
Yellow's for medical. Orange is for fun. Red is really not even healthy. It's just good flavor.
What's blue?
There's too many blues. There's like 3 of them.
Yeah. I bet there'd be light blue, Arctic blast.
Yeah, there's too many
Cool
blues.
blue.
I usually only dabble in the blue in the Powerade sector, not the Gatorade sector, personally.
But yeah, I agree with you, Matt. I have a feeling the 49ers are going to win this time. It's they're
Easy.
they're making it a revenge game type thing because the Chiefs beat them in the 2019 Super Bowl that season, and I don't know. I feel like the Niners are going to get this one.
Did you see where they said Purdy looked like that dude, the assassin, the guy that killed Kennedy or whatever? What's his
They
name?
killed, they killed who?
Lee
I think it was
Harvey
Kennedy, right?
Oswald. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
that, but that's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, it said it looks like him, dude. That's the biggest. That's internet fan. Plus, there's like this chick called like Anna Fry. She's like a high school something athlete, and I guess she looks like him. It's a whole TikTok thing. So, and when you look at her, she kind of does look like him. She looks like a female him. So she's some sort of like top notch, like D. She's gonna be a D1 top 5 volleyball or whatever she plays, soccer. I don't know.
Okay.
One of them chick sports. So, by the way, he looks like a couple people, I guess, doppelganger going on. So, but with that said, he's gonna snipe the Chiefs down and win the Super Bowl, led by Chase Young and Nick Bosa.
Matt's favorite player, Chase Young.
Chase Young is the guy.
That was last episode.
Overrated.
No, my official prediction is the Niners. I think it's gonna be a 24-17 type victory. You know, not high scoring, but not nothing, dog shit low. So nice 24-17 type of deal.
What's your prediction, Mark?
I'm gonna take the Niners. The one thing that concerns me is their past 2 games, they fell back behind in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you can't do that against the Chiefs because they figured out something in the playoffs to where they're just on another level. You give Patrick Mahomes that much rope, they're just gonna hang. The Niners are just gonna hang themselves with that. Um, but I think the Niners got a really good chance. I saw some really crazy stat today that Sam Darnold, if the Niners win, will be the only quarterback in his draft class to win a championship, and his draft class consisted of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
That's crazy.
Pretty wild.
Mhm.
And I will say, Mark, you brought up a good point about falling behind. I mean, the only team that doesn't matter with is the Bengals. They fell behind pretty hefty in the. Yep. Yep. So, what's your score prediction then? You have the Niners. What's the score?
I'm going to go 27-24.
Okay. Matt, who you got?
I'm gonna pick the Niners. I think it's gonna be like
Yeah.
24-23. It's gonna be a 1-point game, one on like a field goal, something like that. I do think that the Niners are gonna stay committed to the running game and not abandon it like Baltimore. And if you haven't or don't listen to Pardon My Take, they did an interview with Stavros Halkias, who's a stand-up comedian who's from Baltimore, and he has this like generic Ronnie character, and he talks with the Baltimore accent. He talks about how Joe Flacco he has a thick Baltimore accent, but he rants and raves about the Chiefs and how Baltimore lost, and it made me think of the year when the Bengals lost to the Steelers, when Burfitt made Antonio Brown go crazy when he hit him over the middle and cost us the game, and how pissed off I was. It was like that. So it's must listen to as a grieving fan of somebody that is pissed off at Kansas City or somebody that's lost a heartbreaking game in the playoffs. You can totally relate to it. But yeah, I'm saying 1-point game, 24-23 Niners.
Did you see real quick where Burfict said he only played dirty against the Steelers?
I did see
They did that, yeah. He's like, I did late hits only against the Steelers because F them.
Yep. I saw
Sorry,
that.
Greg, you go ahead.
Oh, you're good. That did cross my mind, by the way, when Matt brought up Perfect. I'm going with the Niners, like I said, though, and I think it's going to be. I'm going to go with 28-24. So I think it's going to come down to, so the Chiefs will be down 4, so they have to score a touchdown to win. They'll be driving down the field. They'll have the ball, make it interesting for fans, and I'm going to say
Chase Young.
I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes gets hit, but he
By
tries
Chase Young.
a heroic throw, and it gets picked off.
By Chase Young.
Chase Youngs is everywhere. They're all Chase
three.
Youngs.
Chase Young.
What's the over/under on number of Chase Youngs on the field?
It'll feel like 3 because he's that good. It'll feel like 3.
That's if he gets to the threshold for snaps played.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I like the Super Bowl because it's a championship. I think out of like all the championship games, it's not one of my favorite, which is weird to say because it's one of my favorite sports. I don't like the extended half. Maybe I'm just an old man, but I don't like all the extras to go with that. I feel like it's just such a long day to get to a game, and then you're at halftime forever. Like, I think for me, I guess once the game starts, I want it just to go like normal. Like, it's okay to have the pageantry leading up to it, I guess. But then you got that extra, and I know halftime shows will never go away, but it's just like it's just so long.
Yep.
Like, and I just don't care about it. I just never. I know it goes into bringing in other fans, so there's money behind it. I get the business part, but when it comes to true football, it's just like, it's just extra.
I agree with you. And I think it's even worse when the Bengals are in it because when we're in big games, I don't like timeouts. I don't like commercials. I just want to play it. Now, the lucky thing about the Bengals one was music that I really like. So that did help. But overall, I'm with you, Brian. Like, it's too long. I get why they do it. You already hit the points. I get it. It's just as a fan slash like even the players, like in the sit extra long. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the length of it, but it is what it is. And I also with the Super Bowl, it's one of those championships that I will watch. Where like other sports, depending on who's in it, I probably won't watch it. Like the World Series, for example, especially as of late, it's like I don't care. But with the Super Bowl, it's a big thing, and you made me think of something with it being a long day until the game starts. What is your guys' opinion on the Super Bowl being played on a Saturday instead of a Sunday? There is a bye week that each team gets, right? And the Monday after the Super Bowl, from what I've seen, is the number one call off day of the year. What, besides because that's how they've always done it, what do you see any issues with doing it on a Saturday, or you guys rather keep it on a Sunday? What's your opinion?
For me, being in a business that doesn't always get weekends off, it doesn't really affect me. I guess for me, I'd rather because I can get a Monday off.
Yeah.
So if it's like I can request that day off easier than I can a Sunday. So if I can at least get off to watch the Super Bowl, then I can enjoy my off day afterward. So I would be fine with just leaving it for that purpose. But other than that, I don't really care. It doesn't. I think if you're a Monday through Friday person, it means more to you when it's played than if you're not. And I base that off of my one buddy. He always complains. He's like, why is the college national championship on a Monday? It needs to be on like a Friday. So, because he's worried about himself being able to be off the next day, where I'm like, dude, I was always fine with it being a Monday because I could easily get a Monday and a Tuesday off, or one or the other, like I can work Monday morning and be off Tuesday. So for off days purposes, it's really only helpful for the folks that are Monday through Friday, which still probably is the majority of the country, but there are those of us that are in businesses that don't have that. So,
yeah,
sometimes it's maybe just the spite in me that I want it to be a little more difficult on you guys too. Like let's have that bitch on a Wednesday afternoon and see what's going on. Like make you figure it out. So for work wise, it doesn't bother. But honestly, it doesn't matter to me. Like it's just Sunday's NFL day. I know it's changing, but it's just always been the NFL day. So
makes sense because like similar to what you're saying, it doesn't personally affect me either because I can just take Monday off. Which is what I typically do anyways. And then I have that as my day. And then, especially now, the older I get, it's like I need just going out, even though I don't get home super late, for example, is like I still
My
need.
complaint would be I'd rather it be a 4 o'clock game, and that's not trying to screw anyone. That's just because I want to go to bed.
Yeah, no, that
Like
makes sense.
like I love 4 o'clock. I love when the Bengals play at 4 now, and it used to not like that. But it's like I can kind of enjoy the 1 o'clock games freely, you know, and watch the majority of football, and then watch 4 o'clock. And if the Bengals lose, and it makes me mad. The only game I'm not going to watch is Sunday night.
Yeah,
Or if the Bengals lose at 1, it kind of just bums me for the day.
yeah,
Not that I don't continue watching football, but it bums me. But in my perfect world, I don't care what day it is. More of a time thing for 4 p.m. would be great.
I can see that.
Mark or Matt, what do you got?
ahead,
I'm
Mark.
pretty, I always wondered why they did it. I thought it would make more sense to do it on a Saturday. But I guess traditionally, since I mean the games are always played on Sunday, I understand it. But I mean, to me, it really doesn't matter. Um, I'm good. I'm kind of in the same boat with Brian, but I think just traditionally that they just lean more towards that way. I could see them maybe trying to test it out and seeing, especially what they do in the playoffs, like all the divisional rounds and things like that with those Saturday and Sunday games. So maybe they move it to a Saturday just to test it out to see what happens, but I think they'll just keep it about the same.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it being on Sunday. It'd be cool if we could make it like a national holiday where Monday was the day off, or
That was
like
real.
a day off for everyone. Like, there's so many people that call off regardless, where you can make it just like an extended 3-day weekend type deal. But I feel like traditionally Saturday is college football, Sunday is NFL football. NFL's taking over the weekends now. Like, there's NFL from Thursday through Monday night anymore. They've got they have the Black Friday game the day after Thanksgiving. They had 3 games on Thanksgiving. I think they're just trying to get to that point. And maybe there I know there's been rumors of Jacksonville or a team going to London. I could see him moving it to Saturday if that happened to accommodate the English crowd with the big giant time difference, where you could work out something where it's going to be on Saturday for America, but it's going to be at some point on Sunday for the British.
Who cares about them? We won.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
Who won
But I'm
the
saying,
war?
like, in the sense of the business and how they're trying to grow it even more globally,
Yeah,
I could see him switching it to Saturday. But regardless, I still think it's a Sunday thing. And if you like football enough, you're going to stay up, watch the game, and suffer the consequences, whether that be you drank too much or stayed up too late. You're gonna face it on Monday, because I would imagine 60 to 70% of your coworkers are going to be in the same boat that
yeah.
show up.
And now this question's more geared towards Mark because the rest of us are around the same age group. Mark, do you remember when the Super Bowl was in the daytime? It kind of goes with what Brian was saying as well about the 4 o'clock game.
That I do not
Yeah.
know.
I don't remember that well, so I didn't think you would, but it's crazy to think how that was a thing where they play in the day. And then going to go with what Matt was saying, which was perfect transition for me. I also want to ask about, did you guys see that the Eagles will host the first game in Brazil, and it's going to be a Friday in the first week of the season. So the NFL, to go with Matt's point, the NFL is even doing it with the very first week where you're going to have your Thursday night opener game, which hopefully it's the 49ers hosting because that means they won the Super Bowl. And then we have a Friday game in Brazil, and then kick off the weekend.
The only thing it fudges up for me is the fantasy. Like, especially when they have those like early London kicks and shit. I'm like, I gotta wake up at 7 o'clock to make sure my kicker's in or something, like there's no like scratch, or then you gotta get more strategic with like if you have a player that's gonna get, isn't gonna play, it's like, do you what do you do?
Yeah,
So it just brings more strategy to the fantasy end, where when I first started fantasy, it was pretty basic. Like, yeah, you had to deal with Thursday a little bit, but like after that, it was just normal. There wasn't all these extra early games and all that other shit. Now you got Friday, and it just, cause people to more miss setting their lineups if they're not paying attention. So,
Well,
It
at
kind
least with Brazil, we're we're on the same part of the world. So it's
Yeah.
not like we're divided
Yeah.
by the ocean. But yes, waking up on Sunday morning, you're like, shit, the game's about to kick off. Like,
Yeah.
get a scramble to see if somebody was scratched on the injury report.
Yeah. But
Had
no,
that
I
happen
get like,
couple
yeah, they're
times.
just gonna try to cover every day of the week. I mean, college has been doing it for a while. You know, they've been doing it before NFL with almost they have, you know, their Maction or whatever they call it on Friday. And, you know, they've had Thursday. So, you know, they've been spreading it out for a while now. So I just think it's gonna be they're just trying to find more money.
Yeah.
That's all it is, more revenue, which I get. I mean, I kind of hate that there's, you know, like I like Red Zone, I use it, but on the same note, it would be better if the games were a little more spread out. Like that's where I think college football is superior scheduling wise on just Saturday versus Sunday. Is you got a noon game, then you got like a 1 and a 2 and you know, like a 1 and a 3. Like there's always games, and I get it's TV contracts are different there, so I know it's a harder thing to do for NFL, but like you don't have to like flip back and forth or have to have a red zone. Like you can just pick games, you know, that you want, and it's just football all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you got the vast majority of the 1 o'clock games, and when they're done, you have, if you're lucky, you have 4 o'clock games to choose from. You know, most time it's just this is the 4 o'clock game you have, unless you have a premium, you know, NFL ticket, something like that. But like this is what you got, and then you have your Sunday night, which is just one game. This is what you got. So it's like, you know, maybe I want to watch a random, you know, Chargers Texans game or something, opposed to the more local Browns, you know, Baltimore or whoever, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
I just think they need to loosen up their belt on that a little more, get more ratings in that way and something like that. I don't know, make it more a la carte or something. Like I just pay for games I want if they want me to just do that. Like, you know, like if I, you know, just let me pay for the game I want to watch rather than get stuck with what I have.
So do you like it when there's 2 Monday night football games? Like they've been doing it. They did it more,
No,
it feels like this week. Okay.
I don't know because not at the same time. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I guess if you're looking at, I get a choice between it, but honestly, like for the prime times, I just want the one. I
Yeah.
just want it more spread out on Sunday afternoon, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
I think
Or just have the ability to watch which one I want.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like we talked about before, like off record or whatever you want to call it, like not on the podcast, I guess. And sometimes like I think part of it is like our upbringing. We're used to being forced to watch certain things, especially like for example, like the Olympics for March Madness. And I kind of miss that because yeah, I get the options are nice because then it's like, all right, I don't want to watch gymnastics. I want to watch
Yeah. Water
like
polo.
yeah, something else. But I liked that growing up, we were forced to do that because then like that'd be the only time I watch it because I'm not a
Yeah.
gymnastics guy, but
It's only on NBC. There's no choice. Yeah.
yeah. And the same with March Madness. Like I thought like March Madness didn't matter because if UC was playing or the lesser school in this city, they would show that whole game. But other than that, they would bounce between games and then like as
Yeah.
you get towards the end of that first like clock of games, scheduled games, you see all these buzzer beaters and like now we're going to go over here to this game. And
Yeah.
so I like the being like almost like not having the choice. So like with the Monday night thing, I'm okay with it. Like when they do, like I know, like they were doing it like week 1, and then like lately it's been like week 2 instead. Um, but at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, why are you gonna make them compete with each other?
Yeah.
It's the same product, and it's on the same networks, family, ABC and ESPN. But I don't know. That's kind of my opinion on that, and kind of, I guess, down a rabbit hole, but I just saw that they announced that the Eagles are hosting a game in Brazil and figure I'd bring it up.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. But it's gonna, yeah. I mean, it just doesn't feel like the season should be over yet. Like you know, it's Sunday and it's done.
Yeah.
Then it's, you know,
And at the same time, it feels like it's been over for a while just because, we didn't make the postseason.
true.
You know what I mean? It's weird.
And for me, it's in a weird transition because I have not been into the NBA like I have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really just full college basketball right now and then waiting on baseball to start. So,
Yeah.
and the Olympics, but really the Olympics aren't even till like the end of July. So that's to me like, I know it's technically still summer, but once August hits, it starts feeling like fall in my head, even though it's not.
Yeah, but we want it to.
Yeah, I mean,
I know what you
I guess
mean.
it's just when I went back to school, like in my head. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I don't know. It'll be sad for football to be gone.
Yeah. Which is another reason to watch the Super Bowl. We all love football on here. And it's like, yeah, it's not the Super Bowl I want, but my last real football until next year.
Yeah, but I don't know. You want to skip over to UC? Unless
Do
somebody
it.
else had something to say, I don't know.
I was
Yeah.
gonna bring up real quick. Did you guys watch anything on the Senior Bowl
I did.
that happened?
I did not.
No.
No. I thought it was pretty cool that, normally like maybe one or two like named quarterbacks that are playing in there. But I thought it was pretty cool that Bo Nix, Penix, um, Rattler. Now I'm drawing a blank on Milton from Tennessee. And I know I'm missing one more. I'm gonna kick myself for it, and then there was some guy from Tulane. But I thought that was pretty cool that you had a bunch of like named players and uh
Well,
that Luke, a wide receiver from Georgia. I heard he had a big Senior Bowl. He was pretty sudden. Sweat from Texas is a monster on the D line. That
Yeah, I'd like to
dude
draft him.
looked like a grown man
I'd
out
like
there
to,
against some high school players.
yeah, I'd like to draft him. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
I was saying, I guess I have a couple more just small football things real quick that I thought of. And one is Jamar Chase in the Pro Bowl games. Uh, Unfortunately, he had to play in it because we're not in the Super Bowl, but he looked nice in it at least, and he did the homage to Chad Ochocinco with the camera thing. And then the other thing I wanted just to say was, did you guys see Deion Sanders hired our safeties coach to be his defensive coordinator?
I did not see that.
Yeah, I
That's
saw it right before we
huge.
were on, and as we're getting on. So yeah, we're losing him to Colorado,
Damn.
and I saw that he's been here 9 years, and I guess well respected around the league. So
Interesting. I just thought of something, Mark. Maybe with the combining of the two spring football leagues, maybe you're seeing more guys at that game because they realize there could be other opportunities outside of becoming a fifth round draft pick in the NFL. They may be picked up by one of these spring football teams, get their reps out of the way, or go to the Canadian Football League. But I didn't know. I know that the spring football leagues joined, which could become like minor league football in a
yeah,
sense, where you could stash a project guy and he can work his way past the practice squad, or you could send practice squad guys into that league, get them extra reps, get them ready for the season. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out, if it'll expand, if it'll catch on. I've heard Colin Cowherd talk about it, and it does make sense where it's in a part of the sports schedule where there's not really a lot going on. But I do think that the NBA is going to catch fire here once the NFL's over. And from the tabs that I've been keeping up on, there's a lot of young bloods that are coming to replace LeBron and Steph of the world. There's a changing of the guard. I mentioned it on a previous podcast. I think that the end of the regular season is going to be quite crazy, and the playoffs are going to be anybody's bet.
I like
I
it.
think that.
That was a weird tangent, Matt.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know we're in random sports times. It's just how
Just
my
go,
brain works.
just
Shit
go
just
with it.
keeps popping in.
It's all good. Go with it.
Yeah, but I know that Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, he's kind of taken. If you look at his progressions from season one to season, I think this is his fourth year. They're like on track with like Kobe and MJ's progressions. he's putting up like 25, 6 and 5 type stat lines, which are getting dwarfed by like Jokic, because the dude just throws up triple doubles and has like 20 rebounds, 20 points, 15 assists, and even Luka. But I think that Anthony Edwards will remind a lot of guys of Kobe in that like shooting guard frame. Whereas I know that I've seen clips of them take like Joel Embiid doing moves that Kobe and Jordan did on like side by sides. Anthony Edwards is doing a lot of the same, like getting his shot off by doing a lot of motioning with his arms, but not giving up his spot on the floor where he's still getting his shot off. So yeah,
Yeah,
I know, random tangent.
Minnesota's been one of the top teams in the West. The last I saw on Sunday, well, I'm trying to remember now. I think they're second, but they have the same exact record as Oklahoma City, so they're up there.
And the Thunder, yeah, they look nice too. They finally got Holmgren healthy. I know he missed his whole entire first year, but him and Alexander, Shea Gilgeous, apparently is a monster. But I haven't really been like I said, I only hear the snippets that get passed along the major airwaves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then once football stops, kind of like start focusing in on it. But I have heard those names float around.
Anthony Edwards reminds me more of Dwayne Wade than anybody.
Yeah.
I think he has a really similar playing style, like a young D Wade. They kind of like are kind of mirrors of each other.
I think he's a better shooter though. I think he's got a little bit better shooting touch. But I definitely see. I know the comparison you're going for. He's very athletic. He attacks the rim with ferocity.
I think the Thunder kind of give me remnants of when they had like Westbrook, Durant, and Harden. Like when they were young and in there, they kind of give me that feel of what that the old Thunder have versus what they have now. It kind of gives that remnants of who they are.
Kind of
Yeah,
crazy to think that Thunder team had those three guys at the same time on the team.
Talk about blowing up a chance.
Right.
All
Lakers
because they
play one sometimes.
all because they wanted to pay Surge more than Harden.
Yeah. Stupid.
It's wild.
Yeah, we'll talk about a what if, What if they had kept Harden together? You do those crazy what ifs in like sports history. I think like one of the biggest ones is like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What if he never went to the NBA and he stayed in the ABA? You'd probably still have, two split leagues halfway through the 80s, which is in that book of basketball that I was telling you about, Greg. He has like a whole chapter about what ifs in NBA history. It's pretty cool.
Okay. Do they have a picture book version for Brian? He's shaking his head.
This isn't a fucking library. We have videos and DVDs and
God
for a
forbid
reason.
you study the history of basketball. Know some stats.
Don't need the history of basketball. I can watch a YouTube video on the history of basketball. Why it exists.
You're right.
Books are a thing of the
And
past.
you'll
They're
forget,
dead. If you
and then
read,
you
you're a
forget the
loser.
information.
Stop reading. Books are old. We have television, the glorious, glorious television of the internet.
Brian, you sound like the president in that movie Idiocracy right now. The Terry Crews guy telling everybody,
Yeah.
What
Stop
do you mean
reading.
books?
It's a sham. Reading's a sham. Reading's a sham.
Oh shit.
If it was still big, then Amazon would still be a bookstore and not what it is now. It's a sham. Bezos knew it, so he got out.
Did you hear about this crazy stat about the Bearcats to completely go randomly transitioning again? Every team that's played them in Big 12 play has lost the game after them.
Really?
So Big 12 teams are, Texas Tech lost the other night. So now every game, I think it's 0-9. Whoever plays the Bearcats loses the next game.
We wear them out.
Yeah, hangover effects.
Because
Beat the shit out of them.
Even though we haven't won all of them, unfortunately, we haven't been blown out either.
I also heard that we're one of like 3 teams in Big 12 with like 3+ wins in top 25. I think it was Kansas, us, and someone else. I don't remember. I thought I had it in my phone, but I don't.
Okay.
I know it was Kansas for sure, and us for sure. I don't remember the third team.
Well, I also know we're one of the top rebounding schools.
Hallmarks of the program right there.
Yeah.
Defense and rebounding.
Of course, the game we win, I didn't watch. Naturally, I'm like, of course I didn't watch that one when they win. Of all the games I've watched all freaking year, I haven't missed one game. Maybe one other game I missed, but
It goes that way.
you know, like God bless America. You guys had me all worked up about the books, and I forgot about the damn game.
You can read about it.
Yeah, but one thing I did read about, not in a book though, that NHL team coming to Cincinnati potentially. It's in the baby stages, they said, the infancy stages, but at least we're on the list. And that hypes me up because that means we'll probably get a new arena, which is much needed, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Get rid of that Heritage Bank. Plus, like, it'd just be cool to have, like, even though I'm not a huge hockey guy, just more professional sports. Just, you know, makes you feel better. And you know, and I like the Blue Jackets, you know, I guess to root for them because they're somewhat locally. But if Cincinnati gets a team, I'm immediately jumping to the Cincinnati team. Like, I'll still
think
have
they would-
love. Like, I'll have love for the Jackets still, but like, I'll definitely jump on the Cincinnati local team.
You think they would just transition the name Cyclones to the professional league team, or would we have to come up with our own new nickname?
I think it would be cool if they did. I would like that, but I don't know. It depends. I don't know how many like professional NHL teams have minor league teams in the same city. So it would make sense if the Cyclones maybe it's part of their ownership group I don't know what ownership group is trying to get the NHL team. So I don't know if it's part of them or someone neutral. So, but I could see them buying the rights to it because I don't know if there's rules against it, but it just doesn't feel right if there's a professional team in your city to also have a minor league affiliate for like another organization in your same city. So I feel like they'd make a move. You know, like Cyclones would probably go under, which means the name could be up for grabs. But I know back like in the 60s or 70s, we almost had one, and it was like called the Stingers or something like that.
Mhm.
So, and they were going to be real close to it. So I could see them, but I'd like it to be Cyclones. I think that's the team we've most embraced hockey wise. Like we had the Mighty Ducks for a little bit, which I mean, people win, I think, some of the games, but like we've always just embraced the Cyclones, you know, and the Kelly Cups. And so it'd be cool just to use their name especially if like the Cyclones have to go away because of the minor league thing. I don't know how that works, but I just don't think that there's many, you know. I don't think the affiliate I don't think that's how it works. So
Where would they play? I feel like a Heritage Bank Center is kind of small for an NHL.
I think they'd probably have to build a new one as part of getting them. You know, I think that'd be part of the plan. I think that's part of why it's in the infancy stage. I think they'd have to build something, either build something off-site new or redo it in such a way, one or the other. But yeah, I can't imagine. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, temporarily where they play, probably at like either Xavier or UC. I don't know what their hockey arenas look like, but I'm sure they're big enough for a startup, you know, something like that. Especially if they're especially if they're like imploding Heritage and building right there. But or even maybe they go all the way up to Oxford. I don't know, because Miami U's got a pretty legit one from what I hear. You know, they're a big hockey college.
Isn't the Gardens where the Ducks played?
Yeah, that's gone though. That's all the way
Yeah.
gone.
I remember
Yeah.
the Gardens now.
Yeah,
I think I went to a hockey game there.
I
I
went to
think I
one.
watched the Ducks play.
I watched the Ducks play. Only reason I remember watching the Ducks play is because a buddy of ours growing up, he was dating a girl and her brother was on the other team. So we actually went there as kind of pseudo fans of the Canadian Moose, whatever they're called, Moose something. I think they're like the Moose Chucks, but we call them Moose Cocks. I don't know. But they're actually in the Canadian based team, but we were just kind of there. There was no one else like hardly in the freaking arena though. There was like less fans in a Cyclones game, like legit, like those boondock backwoods minor league teams you see in movies and shit where there's like 25 people. So
I'm pretty sure it's where I seen our arena football team we had there for a while. I was at the Gardens.
speaking of, we're getting one of those back too.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
I didn't
We
hear
talked
that
about
one.
that a while ago. You were supposed to be getting an arena football. It was supposed to be announced, unless it went away. We were definitely in the name sake of it. I don't know what the name of it. They're talking about early 24, but I haven't heard anything else about it. But we were on the list with a bunch of other cities for their comeback or whatever.
It is kind of cool seeing us
So,
being on all these lists though, because like
yeah.
I would, if I was gonna say with the NHL, if we do end up getting one of the expansion teams, I would get into the NHL. I mean, it probably won't be like the NFL for me, but like with soccer, I pay attention to the FC Cincinnati more now as well. I think it's cool to have that, and I like the sport of hockey. It's just hockey's one of those weird ones where I like the sport, I just don't follow it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just comes during like football season, I think, is a lot of it.
Yeah, and then it follows along basketball season as well.
Yeah, there's an article in July about an arena football team. Arena
Okay.
Football League announced a third relaunch for 2024. 16 teams ahead of its first 10-game season, because I guess it went under for a little bit, the real AFL. So I guess they're talking about coming back. And Cincinnati is one of the teams. Long story short, not to read the whole article, but they're talking about when we had the Rockers back in the day. That was our,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about them playing at Heritage Bank, I guess. So, and we in 2003 had Cincinnati Swarm, I guess, too. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that for a little bit.
But yeah, we're on the list for that as well. So we'll see how that goes. But this is the last article about it. And it was in July. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Things can happen in 6 months, funds get lost or this or that. But it'd be cool to have. I'd go. I'd like to go. I
Yeah.
say that with things like that, though, because I'm sure I said that back in 03 when we had the Swarm and I never went. It's those things I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. I'll go to that. And then you just never actually end up going down to do it.
Yeah.
But the more activities you have, the better. Like you said, it's cool that Cincinnati's on lists for shit.
Yeah.
Just an expanding city. Like, yeah, I'd definitely get into hockey if I could. And, if we brought an NBA team some point.
Well, I heard that we're the second fastest growing city in the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if that adds to it, like why we make these lists. And I don't know. I think it's cool. I mean, luckily we've always had football and baseball in our lives, especially. But I like that we have a professional soccer team now, even though soccer is not a sport I traditionally followed at all.
Yeah.
Hockey, same boat. And then like you just said, Brian, like that'd be sweet if we end up getting a NBA team again.
Yeah. Buy the
Especially
Sacramento Kings and bring them out. Change the name back. That's
Yeah.
technically the franchise we had.
Well, I mean, think about it. If we win this bid, say we win this bid for the NHL, and part of it is to build the new
Like an
arena,
arena. Yeah.
to have it as a basketball / hockey arena.
Yeah. Yeah. We could bring the Kings, change it back to the,
Yeah,
bring back the O, call it Oscar Robertson Arena.
yeah, there you go.
I'll
Or
get
we
the
all call it
Big
the
O
O.
Court.
We're going to the O tonight, guys. Going to the O.
We're building statues, Mark.
To the O. But no, that I'd support all that. That'd be cool. I mean, it's cool that we are fastest growing. Also, I don't want it to grow too much because I don't like people a whole lot. So, but no, yeah, Cincinnati's definitely up and coming. So, but the more sports you can have, I mean, imagine living in a city where you never had sports like professional.
I can imagine that.
Like it, yeah. Like thankfully we've had it all our lives, but I could imagine just living in like, I don't know, like Wichita, Kansas or some shit, where you just don't really, have anything.
Yeah,
So that would
that'd be rough.
Yeah, that would be rough. But yeah,
I mean,
UC I think's on. They're a bubble team now, aren't they? They're in. Last I saw, like last 10 or last 5 in or whatever.
Yeah, I think they have like what you were saying about how many Big 12 wins they have. I think they're like all whatever the quadrant 1 wins are.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they finish above or at 500 in the Big 12 play, I think you'd have a good shot of being on the bubble. Maybe if you get a couple wins in the tournament, the Big 12 tournament, that'll put you over the edge. Either way, I think the season is going to be an overall success just for establishing yourself in the Big 12. I didn't think that they would be as competitive in every game. I thought they would put up a fight, but the fact that you're coming down to the wire pretty much every game except for Kansas, think that was the only game that they really lost by. They didn't really have a shot in the last minute. But you're also playing in Allen Fieldhouse.
Well,
So,
now it was also close most of the game.
yeah.
And we had to
So-
lead in the second half for a little bit. So even that,
Encouraging. Very encouraging.
it's impressive to beat the 15th ranked team in the country on their home court, which happened to be their first loss of the season on that court. So
Boom. Hell, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Oh, yeah. Big
yeah, fun stat
stats.
for you.
Yeah, I can't imagine them not making the tournament though. I think they'll find a way.
I do too.
You know, just with the talent they have, I feel like they'll find a way to get in.
Be like a 14 seed or something.
Yeah, enough to screw up some people's brackets because they don't think they're going to underrate us. Go on a little run, a little maybe Sweet 16.
Yeah, what are those? What are the playing game seeds? There's like an 11, and a
Yeah,
13. I'd see them being in like one of those realms.
yeah,
Okay, like a playing game.
Yeah, I mean, or like I said, an 11, 13 seed, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
yeah. But no, yeah, I think they'll mess some people up in that. That'll be fun.
Oh, definitely. They would definitely. Way they
Oh,
play, I mean,
yeah.
you got good ball handling guards, tough defense, and
Imagine we
rebounding.
get
at
everybody
both
back
levels.
just in time. Like, what's his name?
Frederick.
Frederick's back, dude,
Yeah.
and we all just get aligned. Those last few games before the Big 12 tournament, and then going fully healthy to the Big 12. Win a few more games than we even expect to win, and go in and ready to go. Because I think if we have a fully healthy team, man, we can play with anyone.
Yeah,
I'm
oh
not
yeah.
saying we're one of the best, but we can play with anyone in the nation, and we've proved that without health. I mean, I think we'd have won 2 or 3 of those games if we had a Frederick healthy, and even like a couple others have been in and out. Like Bandago's not really been 100% all the time. And there's like sickness that we had going on, that little stomach bug or whatever that had people out. So just little things like that. I think if they can just align health wise for a few games before the tournament starts,
Yeah.
it'll really give me some excitement and hope that you might actually make a legit run, even beyond Sweet 16. Because if they're out there playing, it's just going to be, and it's kind of good too, because no one really has tape on us that's going to show what we can do when we
Yeah.
have everyone there, because we really haven't had that. So, it'll be more of a surprise to them once they do. Who the hell is this Frederick guy? Only the best shooter in the nation that's been out for all year. So,
John Newman just gonna beat you up while you watch.
yeah. And I'd love someone to teach Bandago the hook shot, dude, because he could hit the hook shot. He'd drop 20 a night.
Yeah.
He's so freaking tall and lanky.
And Alexander, dude, whatever the hell his name is, Reynolds
Yeah.
from West
Yeah.
Virginia, like he should be averaging a double-double. Like throw that giant frame around.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't.
He should be
get
like a
his-
Danny Fortson out there, and he's not.
Yeah, just bully the people, back them down, and throw down a jam, or kick it out and run the offense. But
Yeah.
don't settle for the fadeaway jump shots, bro.
Yeah, run the offense inside out if you have to. And I brought it up before in previous episodes, but it just irritates me when we miss those point blank shots. You can't do that. Can't do that. Slam it home.
Yeah, like what's his name? Bill Walton says, throw it down, big fella. Throw it down.
Oh shit. Oh, what do you guys think about the not to take it back to the NFL, but all the final 2 coaching hires and all the chaos that ensued with the hires that happened? With Ben Johnson stepping back from Washington. And they're
Oh, and how he's staying.
he's staying. The story was pretty wild.
Didn't he say like he didn't trust Washington because the guy that bought the team he's also the owner of the Sixers, right?
Yeah, he thought
Yeah.
they were more geared towards basketball. But the crazy thing is they didn't know, they were on their way to talk to him, I guess, to do a second interview with him. And he made his decision while they were on the plane. So they didn't find out until they got off the plane that he was no longer interested. Now, given they were going back to talk to Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, too, but that's pretty wild for you to just be like, you know what? Hard pass while you're on an airplane and coming to see me.
It's
Oh,
like what the Big Ten, didn't they suspend Harbaugh while he was on the plane, or like right when he took off?
Mhm.
It's kind of like, fuck
That's
you,
no-
buddy. Guess what? Guess what? When you land, surprise.
speaking of odd news, you hear about the Las Vegas mayor saying she thinks the A's could just go ahead and stay in Oakland. It'd be fine.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, she literally said, she's like, I don't think we really want you. You can just stay in Oakland. Like for a whole ass city just to reject a professional team, like, nah, we're good. You just go
Hard
ahead and work it out in Oakland. I'm like, you're savage, lady.
Yeah,
It's all because their demands. They had all these crazy demands. She's like, yeah, you just go ahead and stay in Oakland. We're not doing any of that. Like so it's like the Oakland's just in shambles. They do need a new owner. Like that dude's just an idiot. Like he can't make it work with a new city. Like there's not a city in the world that would ever reject a professional team. Like that's unprecedented. Because that brings so much money to your area. So it's like for the mayor to say, "No, we're good. We'll pass. Hard pass. Stay in Oakland. We'll wait till somebody else wants to leave."
That's kind of crazy too, because like last year, I remember hearing that like the Oakland fans were doing the reverse boycott. Like
Yeah.
sell the team, or whatever it was.
No.
Remove
So
the
that
team.
might be where MLB needs to step in and nut up and say, dude, you suck. You got to go. Like, you got to
Yeah.
sell. You got to get it. You can't, you don't have a city to go to. You're a homeless franchise right now. And baseball
They just
season's coming
traveled.
soon,
They just traveled to different minor league cities and played their season. In Dayton tonight.
They become
the Dayton Athletics.
They're
they
playing the
become
Reds.
the Notre Dame of the MLB.
Just
Yeah.
independent.
We're independent.
Trying
Yeah,
to
they
patch
can't
it
win
together
any
a
division.
schedule.
They can
I
I
only
guess
be
if
a
a
wild
team rains out, they can fly them out and play them somewhere.
they're the rain delay team they play against.
Yeah, the fill in. But yeah,
This was crazy
that's
too that
shambles.
Oakland does the city of Oakland doesn't want this. They just do not want to give their professional teams new facilities either. That was the big
No.
Raiders for a long time. That's why the Raiders went to Los Angeles way back.
Yeah. Well, the city, I mean, I don't know much about the politics of it, but I heard they're just hemorrhaging funds generally. So, they don't really have the finances to
Yeah,
grow towards a professional team.
I figured that was probably something to do with it,
But I'm sure that's not, yeah. It's all about the money situation.
especially with San Francisco just across the bay.
Yeah.
San Francisco is on the opposite end, where it's like the most expensive city to live in this country.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, but since you brought up the baseball, it is 6 days, 3 hours, 31 minutes, and 30 seconds until spring training countdown.
Nice. I know. I think it was yesterday or today was 50 days to opening day.
Wow.
And they had a big signing today too, didn't they?
Yeah. Josh Harrison from
Yeah.
University of Cincinnati's that you love so very much. Went to Princeton High.
Local kid.
They gave him a guaranteed minor league contract with a major league invite in spring training. So that was, I always wanted him coming out. I thought he was legit. I hate that he played for the Pirates all them years because no super stud, but a serviceable, infielder.
Good veteran to have with such a young team too.
Yeah. So I think it's a solid signing.
I think it's what's exciting about the Reds is such a young team because
Yeah.
you think this is the first season in what, like 20 years or somewhere around there that we're not gonna have Joey Votto on the roster,
That's wild, dude.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to Lance McAllister the other night. I ran up to Kroger's real quick, and he was talking about he's always pretty good historian on Reds baseball, good with stats and memories and stuff like that, pointing out things. He was saying how this season reminds him a lot of like the season before or the 2010 Reds when they came out of nowhere and surprised a bunch of people. And he was like, I feel like the same kind of buzz and excitement going into 2011, but 2011 was a step back before we actually, the following 2 seasons after that went to the playoffs back to back. But I definitely see and feel the excitement of like, man, we actually got a squad for once in a while. Once in a long time, we got a solid hitting team, some pretty decent pitchers, and could do some damage more than we've experienced in a decade.
Yeah.
Feels like.
And they've been doing a lot of little quiet signings in the offseason that, improve the bullpen depth and rotation depth. So,
Yeah.
it's at least show them to making some moves. It's not no blockbuster moves to, call phone home about, but like just things that are going to help the depth or even help just spring training kind of competition, things like that. So,
Veteran presences like Harrison in the locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I'm more excited than I have been in a long time for the Red season myself. And
They just got to figure out their damn TV deal, man. That Valley Sports shit's just nonsense, man.
Awful.
I know Amazon bought them, but there's still some asterisks about the streaming, right? So basically, you don't expect the Reds on Prime. So they'll still be stuck in Valley Sports land because of some sort of contract. From what I read, the only ones that got helped by it were like Arizona and somebody else out west got helped by the Prime thing. But
Dude,
somehow
it's crazy. It's crazy to me that you wouldn't bend over backwards to have the Reds on a television broadcast where the majority of the people that live in the city can actually watch it when baseball's generate like the majority of the Reds revenue is coming from Cincinnati and Reds fans in general. So why wouldn't you want to have them broadcast more?
Yeah, I was really hoping that last year Valley Sports didn't come up with the money to pay the Reds because that was kind of the part of the holdback. They didn't have money. They hadn't paid the Reds in like 8 months or something, and they finally, right before like a week before the Reds were gonna say we're gonna find something else because you can't pay us, they found money and paid them. I'm like, damn it! I just wanted them to like walk away from it so they could be on just local channel 5, 9, whatever, like.
Yeah.
I think that was the plan, was like just have the locals pick it up, and that's just how it's going to be. You get it out there for free because they got to be able to watch games. But and then I get excited temporarily when Prime, bought them. I was like, oh, good, but it's still, there's some contract BS. I just wish Amazon would just buy it out and say like, screw it, just we want to put it all on Prime because at least I have that. Like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna, order Spectrum just to have the Reds. I did last year for a little bit on what the hell was it, like Fubo TV or some odd nonsense.
That is the worst streaming service known to man.
So garbage.
Dude, it is terrible. It's not user friendly. You gotta like go through like 87 different ways just to get to the guide. Like it is insane.
I'm glad I'm not alone on that. I thought I was just dumb. I'm like, how do I not know how to use this guide? Like, I can't find the Reds game. And then you finally find it, and it just freaking buffers half the time. I'm like, my Lord.
It's a terrible, terrible service.
I've had better with bootleg freaking NFL games on, them sites. Like, you're getting viruses on your computer. But at least I'm not buffering all day, like, I'm accepting the virus on my laptop, but, like, at least it's not buffering while I'm watching the damn game. Thank God you said that was so trash.
Dude, it's the worst.
So trash. I'm like, my God, dude. But yeah, so they need to just get them on regular TV too. That's just annoying,
Yeah.
MLB in general is just failing at that, and that they wonder why the people aren't tuning in. Well, you can't fucking watch them when you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even buy MLB season ticket or whatever the hell they call their shit because they black out the local games, which I think is nonsense for all the TV streaming. I've said that before. I know we're going on a TV rant, but like, if I buy it, I should be able to watch whatever I want. It doesn't matter. I should be able to watch what I want when I want. I should be able to have 2 weeks to watch the damn game if I want to. I paid $300 for the shit.
Yep, I agree.
But I have to go live in Chicago to watch the Reds games. Like, just
which makes
that's my rant.
0 sense. Why? Yeah. Like the logic, I'm sure, is they want. Well, we live here, so maybe that'll make us go to the stadium. But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. No. And you should be able to watch your local team. I'm sorry, like.
Yeah, it's just all about the money. It's about the local commercials that get paid for being on.
Yeah.
The actual broadcast and all that. It's like, play that broadcast. I don't give a shit. Show me the commercials. I don't care about all that. I don't care anything about that.
Me neither.
They're still going to exist. There's still going to be pauses in the game. So show me, just stream that feed to me for all I care. But
yeah, keep showing us the stupid local commercials on the side. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm with
like, I don't pay attention to them anyway.
Yeah, because you see the same ones over and over and over as the season goes on.
As soon as it goes commercial, I hit mute and I get on my phone. And after 2 minutes, I look up all the games back on mute and
Yeah.
watch it. Like, there's too many devices around me for me to watch commercials. Like, as soon as that shit goes, I'm on Twitter or I'm on TikTok, I'm on something. I'm not, even listening to the commercial, just immediately mute. I do that with any type of regular show I'm watching. Immediately mute. On to Twitter I go, whatever it is. And then, you got your internal clock. You know how long commercials are. We've been on the earth long enough. We're like, oh, shit, it's about time. On mute. And sometimes you can tell what the commercials that are coming back from. When it becomes a little more, they start advertising next week's game or whatever. Like, next week, NFL, it's like, oh, game's about to come back on. Here we go.
Yep.
So, but that's my TV rant. Sorry.
That's good. Which, by the way, pause for a moment. And this podcast is not brought to you by Fubo TV. It's brought to you by nothing because we have no sponsors right now.
No. But no, if it ever is brought to you by Fubo TV, that's because we are complete sellouts. And they offered us a lot of money. We are against everything that exists, but money does talk. So Fubo, you want to stop talking shit? Show us the money.
You start seeing the Fubo logo in Brian's background and Matt's and Mark's and mine.
On the background. I'll have it on the TV in the background and just be buffering away.
Yeah, that should be their hat signal, or the hat logo is just a buffering.
With a faded Fubo behind it. Just... Oh my God, we're gonna get sued. If anybody ever watches this, we're getting sued.
Well, just say what your name. My name's Antoine Watson. Antoine, what's your name?
I'm Chris Thomas.
All right, Chris Thomas.
Antoine's friend.
We got Nick Tuckfarber and Brandon Walters here with us as well.
Right.
Oh, but yeah, no, I think the Reds are gonna be exciting. It's exciting. We got a lot of good sports going on. Reds are gonna be exciting. Bengals are gonna be exciting. Hopefully, it goes from exciting to championships. That'd be pretty cool.
Next year, we're in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll be just like what, 5 months after the Reds win the World Series and shock the world.
That's right.
And that's one thing I also like to go off on a side rant. I enjoy that. I guess I enjoy Super Bowl being in warm climates and all that, but I also think it'd be cool if like you got to host it, kind of like MLB.
Oh yeah.
Like MLB, like at least you get to watch them. Of course it's going to cost you a pretty penny to get in, but like, and I get why they do it and they're never going to change it, but I don't know, but it's just kind of cool because like the hype around like the AFC Championship game, if it's here and all that, like that's the biggest game you can get like locally is the conference championships, and then you like the Super Bowl's like in a neutral site somewhere, and it's just a different atmosphere.
And especially where we live, we're never going to host a Super Bowl.
Unless we got a dome, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't see Mike Brown building a dome though. He would rather host the Super Bowl in that plastic bubble.
Hey,
you're not allowed to call it that. It's the training facility.
All right. Well, he'd
basically meaning we're not going to get anything better than a plastic bubble.
He'd make it clear plastic and put people on the bridge, like give them binoculars.
Sell seats on the bridge.
have drone delivery for their drinks and concessions.
Hey, I'm just glad we finally got a bubble.
Yeah. We got something. Pass that thing twice a day.
But yeah, I mean, you're right, Brian. Like, you can't host it, and we've only seen it twice in the 58 Super Bowls we've had so far, and it happened to be back-to-back years. And of course, one of them was the last Super Bowl we were in. So, but like, we're never going to do it here unless, like you said, we get a dome.
But even that is good for the economics of the city, is bringing stuff in. But that's why I like to get a new arena too. Maybe get our bid in the Olympics one of these years. I know we were close a while ago.
Yeah.
Getting a bid and we were in the talks for like the FIFA.
Yep.
I was just about to ask, weren't we in talks for the World Cup to come here?
Yeah, I think we didn't get selected, but yeah. Because I don't know, just probably because Paul Brown or whatever it's called now, Paycor being older.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. And they try to say, I think they said something about the fan base supporting it, but I'm like, that doesn't make sense because FC
has a huge following.
Yeah, but I know they want it in like a football-sized stadium. They don't want it at like a smaller venue.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And like you're saying with Paycor Stadium being older like that, part of it too is they like we do all these renovations. They're like, we're good.
yeah,
Either they are doing some renovations, but I think that's just because you kind of have to.
yeah. Most of them are just renovations. It's just shit that's falling apart. It's not like upgrades.
Yeah.
They kind of lump that into one sum. I think they say renovations make us feel better. It's like, no, we're just fixing like the pipes that burst in the bathroom, doing the minimum required. It's not like you're getting some new fancy shit. You're just,
Well, I will say though, unless they changed it since it's been a while since I heard this, but I guess in the south end zone we're getting a way bigger monitor.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's supposed to stretch more all the way. Like if you're facing the south end zone, it's supposed to face more to the right and just be much wider. We'll see. Because I will say it's hard seeing some of the stuff on replay on those screens
yeah,
we have.
yeah. They need more 4K ish, 8K.
Yeah. Now they did do a good job with the rings that are LED or whatever they are, like where they show the scores. They got new ones over last off season, and you notice a huge difference. So much clearer.
Oh yeah.
That's the words of wisdom.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
As
deep.
long as they got the escalator working, I mean, I've always heard that the escalator was always broke. So
I
we
remember
moved
being
on
at a
to
couple games that
LED
was
lighting
broke at.
and scoreboard. I like it. Progress.
That's always embarrassing. Monday Night Football, and you see people just walking up the escalator.
But as Mitch Hedberg said before he died, great words of wisdom is that an escalator can never be out of order. It can only be temporarily stairs.
Mhm.
Oh,
Sorry for
there
the
you go. That's a big escalator though, so that's
Yeah.
but it's still steps.
it is.
I've
No,
walked up that escalator before when it's been
It's
broken.
not fun.
Fat
Yeah,
Boy
I
did
mean-
not like that at all.
You're getting your steps in today, boys.
yeah, right.
That's when I realized I was too fat for the cheap seats. I'm like, all right, we gotta start buying some better seats than this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't walking up this shit again. That ain't gonna happen.
By the time you get up the steps, the game's almost over.
Yeah, and then we're turning back around.
Well, and that's what stinks too. When you do leave the game, when you're in those cheaper seats up high, you walk down a ton of ramps. I feel like you're never leaving the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
not to be
get your-
petty, but that's the truth.
yeah. Get your leg work out with that shit.
And it's a real long walk if it's a loss after a loss.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's about we're kind of in a dead sports week, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we have the Super Bowl coming up, but we don't really have much more to say about it, right? We can recap it next week.
Yeah. What we
And-
do have to say is go Debo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey for touchdowns. All McCaffrey, all Samuel, all touchdowns.
I need
Why?
all the kicks from Jake Moody, all from 50 yards.
I want some old Harrison Butker, and I got Brock Purdy. So as long as he's
Hey.
passing them touchdowns.
I need a random. This is what's going to happen. Noah Gray is going to score a touchdown in this game.
What are we separated about? I think it's like 3 points, right?
I think
It's
Brian
pretty
has
tight.
me by like 2.
Yeah, you guys are all close. I think one's like, I don't know, like 103. Then there's even 100 and then 99.
Yeah.
And Kevin's scary because he's got a lot of players left.
Yeah, he's a
Mhm.
lot of Chiefs guys.
So yeah, with it being double points, he can come back real quick. So
Yeah,
someone to
good
keep an
point.
eye on.
Good point, Brian. Because like Mark knows, Matt. I'm not sure how if you played in a lot of these, but like the Super Bowl, the points are doubled.
Okay. I did see that. So, yeah. All running touchdowns. Debo Samuel and McCaffrey. That's
And
how they're
these-
going to beat the
All
Chiefs.
running.
So it all
All
works
running.
out. It works to my it works out for Matt.
I want Purdy to pass it to himself.
like Lamar Jackson did.
Yeah.
What if Moody scores a fake field goal, touchdown.
It's a touchdown from
You get a
Moody.
touchdown. Yeah, you get a touchdown.
From
It's
like-
not gonna happen,
like-
but you get a
From
touchdown.
like 35 yards would be great.
Yeah, because that would
throws
be
it
Moody
to
just taking off like
that'd be a
kicks the
24
extra point.
pointer for you.
you know that's gonna happen, but he's gonna get caught at the 2 just to take the wind out of your sails. You're gonna be like, go Moody, go. He's gonna trip over his own feet. Like no one's even gonna touch him. He's gonna be like,
And the funny thing is, like the 49er fan base will be happy because like, oh, it's 1st and goal now. But Mark, you're like, why can't you just go 3 more yards?
3 more yards, you piece of shit.
You had one job.
Or he fucking laterals it to somebody else instead.
One of your guys is like Matt.
Laterals it to freaking Debo and Matt's like, oh, oh. That'd be a family attack right there.
Oh, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah. What if it's a screen pass to McCaffrey who then throws a 40-yard touchdown to Samuel?
Oh,
Just contemplating how I could get all these extra points.
if it's that's a 48 pointer for you.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
That'd be
putting a
insane.
prop that
Prop
shit.
bet.
That would be bonkers, man. If that happens,
I'm
if that
trying to
happens,
speak it into existence.
I might give you an extra $100 out of my own wallet.
Oh, you said it here, folks. $1,000 to Matt from Greg.
That would be so
Not
fucking hilarious.
100.
100,000.
$100,000.
Sorry, everything's buffering like Fubo, so I heard 1,000.
Wait. You're going to do 10,000, Brian?
10,000 from Greg. You heard it here, Brian.
I'll give you 10,000 Shroot bucks.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Oh, shit.
I
All
don't know
right,
if
I
that
guess,
translates to Matt Nichols, but
on that note, I guess could we probably wrap up?
yeah, I think,
Yeah, we
I think we're good now. Go
Yeah.
Niners.
We're gonna go ahead and stop this recording.